Hi guys, and I was just testing up some components in here. For some reason I have a kind of a weird issue with this text box. So for now I'm just gonna be using the editable box. For now I'm just gonna drag and drop that box in here. I'm just gonna put a demo text for now and make sure where it says enable we marked it as false, so the player can just come back and edit this box, right? And then for the color of the font here, I am just gonna go back here. Sorry, for the size here, I'm just gonna make sure that's 14. That's fine. That's okay. For the padding, let's put 10 in here, so it gets maybe let's 5. That it's okay. Make sure it's in fill, right? And I think maybe the color there, we're just gonna put outline of 1. Outline color, and I think that's it for now. So then after we can change this more in the future, right? So right now we got that. Let me go back here to design, and then we have okay, so we have the type and the chest, right? So if I go back in here to my, where is it here, right, to my slot, I have category, and then I have maybe I think that's it. I just have the category. So what I'm gonna be doing here is I'm probably gonna put the category in maybe in here, but align it to the bottom. So I'm just gonna go here as the title box. I'm gonna duplicate that. I'm gonna call this category box, right? Box. I'm gonna make sure that this is aligned to here, so we know the category goes in there. What we can do here is what I'm gonna do here in a better way. I'm gonna put this here on the top, and I'm gonna get an icon, right, or an image. I'm gonna put this inside. Make sure you align this here, so they are something like this, maybe like this, but let's see, image, see if I can actually do fill. Just trying to find the best possible way to leave that here. I'm gonna put this icon here, the category box, down here, and I want to make sure that this is on auto, and let's add some padding there. Let's say some padding here to the bottom, to the right, something like 50. Okay, let's add 100 of padding. Can we align this in the middle? Now it's gonna be weird. A lot of these guys, it's just try and error. It's just you try and error, and if it looks bad, then you just refactor. But for now, just to keep this lesson short, I'm just gonna leave it like this. I'm gonna make sure, so this is the icon of the item, this is the category, this is the name, this is the description, and then maybe we have some gold showing up or something. Then probably can, I'm not gonna show the quantity because I don't think we already have the information, right? So in the border here, we can actually I'm just going to start to rename this. So this is the name. So item name, make sure is a variable. Whereas the image, just rename that to icon. Let's get some padding to the right, something like 50. Let's just give some 10. And let's make sure that we align this on the middle here. That's fine. I'm just going to give some padding to the left of 10. Okay. Now this we're gonna call category, right? Category. Make sure it's a variable. So that's a variable. This is a variable. Compile and save. Nice. And then we have the description, which so description. Make sure that is also a variable. And then we're gonna, let's just duplicate here. No, I'm just gonna leave it like this for now. Yeah, that's fine. Right, so what we're gonna do here is on the variables, we're gonna create another one called item. On the st boolean, let's search for the st item. And there we go. So just gonna make sure it's public, and also make sure you expose that on spawn, because we do need that. I'm gonna get the item here, and nice. So that's the item reference. There we go. Right. One thing very important that what I want to do here is I wanna let's create a function that will, maybe not. Let's try to do it normal first. So let's break these members here, and where we have the quality, yeah, we can set this up straight away, so it's fine. So let's start with the name. So let's select the name. Let's drag the name here, right? And what I am gonna do here is I'm just gonna set text, right? And make sure that the text you are setting to is that, the name. Same thing for the category here. Let's get the category. Set text, right? And that's the category to string, I think. Enum to string. Yeah, make sure you do enum to string so it can be set it in here. Let's just go ahead and cast this. And let's just organize that a little bit better. Now the next step is the icon. So the icon is fine. I'm just gonna get the icon here. Set texture from bush texture, whatever. So I'm just gonna plug this here. So again, guys, this is all things that we've done before. It's just the case that we need to set this up with the design. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put the icon there. Nice. And the next step is the description. So the description, I think that one is a little bit, I don't think it's complicated. I think it's just, let's get here. So get that, set text, set multi-text editable line, there we go. And that's the description, which can go straight away here. And we're gonna plug those here together. Right. One last thing here, that if you notice on the design, more or less, we kind of have a different color for different items, and that's where, you know, the item is common item or the rarity of the item, right? So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna drop this icon. No, I'll leave the icon on. Don't worry about that, right? I'm gonna just go back here, get equality. I'm gonna break this into a data row handle. I am gonna get, I think here, let me just get, let me just organize this, because this is something that we actually have to do here. We need to get the rarity of the item. So we're gonna get data table from row here. Remember that this is a rarity table, so we just need to search for DT rarity item quality list, yeah. And then on row found, we can carry on, do whatever the rest. Once again, there's better ways to do this as well. You could create like a class that always return that based on these entries. But for now, just to keep it simple and you guys know what which line is doing, we can just do it this way for now. So I'm gonna break this row here. And this is gonna give me the quality and the color. Remember, the color is slate color. What I wanna do here is I just wanna change the title to whatever the color we're trying to get from this rarity, and that's quite simple. Just gonna get the item name, set color and opacity. Because this is slate color, you can plug this straight away. And let me just plug this here. Let's plug this on the middle. Compile and save. And right, so it's not gonna work yet because we still have to do the other part yet. But there we go, guys. So that's the basic here for our description here. We may have to do a couple of adjustments. I'm just gonna make sure that this is something like 600 for now. We can always change this size, but once again, this is just so you can learn the basics, and then after that it's just a question of style and things like this. Right, so open up your slot again like we did in the beginning of the video, and if you notice, we did that thing where we have the on hover and leave. Right, so right now we have to draw that widget somehow when the player do mouse hover this, right? So how can we actually do that? Right, so the way we can actually do this is quite simple. So first of all, I'm gonna delete this. From here, I'm gonna create a widget, right? The widget I want to create is this WBP item details. So that one is the item here. Okay, so we're gonna pass the item there. If you press play, nothing gonna happen because this point, you're not adding to the viewport, but it is creating the item on the background. So this is actually creating as a memory. So it is instantiating the class. So just keep aware of this. And what we kind of want to do now is we want to make sure that this shows up more or less where is the player mouse position somehow. So what I want to do here is I want to call a node called get mouse position on platform. It's gonna hook this up here, and what I want to do from here is I want to so this give me the position, right? So let me create this as a variable for now, so we can actually, I think there's a better way that we can actually do this, which is basically let me just show you what I want to do here. I'm going to browse to assets. Where's the inventory slot? Let's open up the main inventory widget here, and in the slot item I'm going to create another variable, and I'm going to call this parent inventory widget, right? And we're gonna, the type of this is gonna be a WBP inventory main, and I'm gonna explain what I'm gonna do here. Inventory main, and make sure that's object reference, make sure that's public, and also make sure that this is you mark expose on spawn, right? Compile and save this, which is nice. Now if you go back to the inventory main, if you go here where is a where is that? That's in the slot item here. If you refresh this, right? Refresh nodes. This is in the populate or update inventory things in there. We kind of need to pass the parent inventory, which in this case is just self, right? And why I'm passing this is because I want to make sure on the slot item that we set this, yeah? When you hover the item, so when you press play, you go in here. When I hover this, I want to make sure that widget reference is set up on the main inventory, because if the player remove the mouse and then go back, we can go there, delete the reference and reopen another one. So it's a nice way to kind of save some memory, some performance, and all this kind of stuff, right? So with that done, create another variable in here, and let's call it item details box ref, which is reference, right? The type of this is going to be WBP item details, right? And this is a reference. Make sure it's public. You don't need to mark it expose and spawn because we're not really exposing that on spawn. And if I go back in here, right, on the slot item, where is actually we're doing the action, now we have the reference to the parent inventory. So we're going to get that, and we're going to set item details box. Make sure you put this here, right? And what we're gonna do here, actually, let's do the whole logic. I think that's better. So we're gonna make sure that whatever when you hover the mouse here first, we're gonna get inventory, get item details box ref. We're gonna remove from parent only if this guy here is valid, right? So if it's valid, let me just give some space so we can actually do some work here. If it's valid, you remove from parent and then you carry on. And then let me just duplicate the node here. If it's not valid, we don't care, then we just carry on and go straight away, right? So on mouse hover, we make sure the details box exists. We remove the widget from parent, meaning that we destroy the widget. Then what we do here is we're going to create another widget as a reference. We're going to set up the widget in the parent inventory. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to display that more or less where is the mouse position. So the mouse position here, that will be... so what we're going to do here is we're going to get this, and we're going to add a method called add to viewport, right? But before we adding this to the viewport, we need to set position in the viewport. And what we're going to do here is we're going to plug this position there, because that's the position we're trying to look for. This is going to go in here, and that's going to be plugged in here, right? And that is basically the logic you need for this. And there's just one more thing that we need to do. I'm going to copy this logic and paste that logic in here. And when we leave the mouse, if that widget is valid, then we will remove the item. Let's see if that's working, and then actually can start to comment and maybe do some better refactor with this. Compile and save. There you go. So you come in there, get the item, hover over. There you go. So you got wood resources, and as we leave, we got that coming up as the way you should. Right, so I think that's quite good. Let me just double check why that is being so out. I'm just trying to fix why is it actually not coming up on the proper place. Let me just double check here. Maybe I'm just gonna use your view screen, or maybe yeah, let's try that. Let's see if that actually does any difference. If it does, yeah, honestly, I'm pretty much happy as long as that thing is showing up. I think that's a good place where it's actually displaying. I just wanted to make sure. Let me see if I can make sure that that thing shows a little bit close to the mouse. There you go, guys. So I was just playing around, and I found a better way to do that. So if I come in here, what I did here, I'm gonna change something. So you're gonna do it together. It's basically instead of using the get mouse on platform position, we want to use the one on the viewport, and the reason why is because that will adapt to the size of your viewport. But there's a couple of adjustments that we have to do here, right? So what I want to do here is I want to make sure that on the X, if you're checking here on the, what is it? That's let's show you here. So we want to make sure that it has some space so it doesn't keep overhiding the mouse as we go through here, right? So we can keep moving this around. So we're going to do that is I'm going to break this, break vector. On the Y position here, I am going to make sure X, Y, let's try for this. I'm just going to add maybe 30 pixels to the right, to the left, or whatever, it doesn't matter. And then what I'm going to make sure is I'm going to make a vector. That's Y and X, right? So we add a little bit of a offset. Let's see how does that look. So it does look a little bit better. Yeah. So we can even add a little bit more so it doesn't look that weird. Let's add 100. As long as it show up more or less where is the mouse, we are happy. It doesn't interfere. There we go. So we're kind of very happy with this. Yeah, I think I'm happy. It does show where is the icon there. It does show the quality. It's a resource. It shows the icon. You can use this to build house. I'm just thinking that maybe this color, it could be adjust, but I think I'm pretty happy with this. I'm just gonna leave the way it is. You guys can go ahead if you want and actually spend some time doing some design with this, but I'm kind of happy with how this is come up. So yeah, guys, so this video here, basically we kind of getting to the end. We achieve our goal here adding this, and then in the next season, in the next part of our video, we're gonna be creating some kind of a button in that we can actually interact, and maybe a box that we can use to display some information, or even maybe like a kind of a drag and drop, so we can drag this item around and actually can drop this item so the player can actually drop the item in front of him. So thank you very much for watching. Once again, if you go lost, you know, during this part of this video, just go back, rewatch a couple of parts. But yeah, we're starting to have some nice UI elements. We're starting to have some very basic logic of having inventory, but it's coming up really nicely. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and see you guys in the next one.